Does laser therapy work for hair loss? If so, what results can you expect and should you start using it? This Reddit user was using red light therapy for 5 months and these were his results. Not only did he fill in the existing gaps in his hair, but he also managed to thicken his other existing hair. But how he did it is not what you think. So in today's video we are going to look at red light therapy, also known as low-level light therapy, and discuss how you can use it to regrow your hair. And most importantly, if you stay until the end of the video, I will tell you where to find the best red light therapy device, the Wellue laser hair growth helmet, which is for me one of the best you can buy at the most affordable price. For those following my channel, you may have heard me reference Minoxidil 1,000 times, since it's one of the most popular treatments against hair loss. He's a good example of a typical result when using Minoxidil continually for 3 months. It is essentially a stimulator treatment, meaning it doesn't work by stopping the hair loss hormone DHT like the other treatments such as finasteride or dutasteride do. Instead, Minoxidil works by stimulating the existing hair, which is dying, to grow thick and healthy again. And to that extent, the red light therapy works in a similar way. It also stimulates the hair to grow healthy again. And the best part is that it is a non-invasive and safe treatment. Devices like the Wellue helmet make it especially easy to integrate this kind of therapy into your routine. But you may wonder, how does it grow hair? And most importantly, why should you use it? When people say laser, they often think about the resurfacing laser like CO2. Those are high-power, heat-based lasers. They burn the surface of the skin in order to promote collagen and elastin fiber production for skin rejuvenation. However, don't worry. Red light therapy is completely different. It's a low-level laser therapy and it's completely safe and simply works differently. It uses much less power and a different wavelength. So this technology is especially relevant for those people who want to use a non-invasive and safe treatment, like the user we saw before. These devices have been on the market for over 10 years and all work on the principle that certain wavelengths of light can stimulate hair follicles. That's exactly the principle behind helmets like the Wellue hair growth helmet. So here's how they work exactly. If you didn't know, light works in a spectrum of wavelengths. This is the visible spectrum to the eye. And now if you look at this picture, you will notice something very interesting. This picture shows how different wavelengths of light penetrate the skin. Yellow, red and near infrared can reach into the skin, but for hair stimulation we mainly use red light because it penetrates into the dermis, the layer where the hair follicles live and where the stimulation needs to happen. This wavelength is about 650 nanometers in the red light spectrum. This range has been shown to wake up the follicles. That's why helmets like the Wellue model specifically use 650 nanometer medical grade diodes. But when I first read this, I was like, is it true? Is it possible to wake up the follicles with light? I know it sounds weird, but yes, this part is true. And it actually comes from real scientific research into something called Photobiomodulation. That's just a fancy word for how light can affect our cells. So let me break it down really simply. First, what happens inside the cell? When red or near infrared light, we're talking wavelengths around 630 to 680 nanometers, hits the scalp, it's absorbed by an enzyme in the mitochondria called cytochrome C oxidase. Think of the mitochondria as the power station of your cells. When they soak up the light, they make more ATP, which is basically the energy currency of the cell. More ATP means the follicle has more fuel to do its job, which is producing hair. Now, there are other effects too. The red light can also help to release small amounts of nitric oxide, which improves blood flow and oxygen delivery. It also changes cell signaling in a way that reduces scalp inflammation and makes the scalp environment healthier for hair growth. And there's even evidence that it can push hair follicle stem cells out of the resting phase and into the hair growth phase. So what does it mean for your hair? Follicles that were thinning, like in pattern hair loss, basically get a metabolic boost. Over several months, this can mean that several hairs start growing. And the hairs that you already have can get thicker and thicker. The results aren't dramatic. We are not talking about curing baldness, but in good clinical trials, people gained about 15 to 25 extra hairs per square centimeter. And yes, that's visible. I asked AI to create a before and after comparison to show how visible these 15 to 25 more hairs per square centimeter actually are, as you can see for yourself. But it is important to be clear on what it does not. The red light therapy doesn't magically create new hairs. It doesn't add new hairs like in a hair transplant. And if you are completely bald with a shiny scalp, it's not going to make hair suddenly sprout out. It will, however, work well if your hairs look like this, where they are very weak and thin, but still there and visible. Those hairs are good candidates to receive red light therapy stimulation. And using a helmet like the Wellue makes that process consistent and convenient. And to make it work, here's a very important thing to keep in mind. We've been studying lasers for over 50 years, and if you look at the way the energy works in the skin, there is a dose response curve for laser, and it goes like this. As shown in this graph, when we talk about laser therapy for hair, the dose is measured in joules per square centimeter. That's just the total amount of light energy your scalp receives. Now, different devices deliver this dose in different ways. Combs give strong light, but only to a small patch at a time. Headbands cover a bit more area, and helmets or caps cover the whole scalp at once. If you look at the evidence graph, the order of effectiveness usually goes comb first, then headbands, and finally caps. But caps win in real life because they are hands-free and people actually use them consistently. That's why the Wellue, being wireless and full coverage, is the most practical choice. As for the frequency, the sweet spot for helmets and caps is about 3 times per week, 15 to 20-minute sessions. Doing it more doesn't actually work better because, as I told you before, red light follows a dose response curve. Too little energy does nothing. The right amount stimulates growth, but too much can actually cancel out the benefits. But the reality is that you would need to wear this almost all the time to enter into that territory. And if you are interested in trying it for yourself, the Wellue hair growth helmet is the one I personally recommend. I have started using it in my temple area where my hair just needed a little extra push. And for me, it's the perfect option because I don't want to go down the route of more invasive treatments that might harm my skin or hair. It uses 82 medical grade 650 nanometer laser diodes, the exact sweet spot we talked about earlier. And the best part is it is wireless, a hands-free design. You just need to put it on, press the on button, and it runs for a perfect 15-minute session with an auto shut off so you never overdo it. Unlike combs or bands that only treat part of the scalp, this helmet gives you full coverage in one go. And since it's cordless with a built-in battery, you can literally use it anywhere without being tied down. The price is already lower than most competitors, but Wellue gave us an exclusive promo code, AJ15. That takes another 15% off, which is honestly a great deal for an FDA cleared device of this quality. So if you want to check it out, just scan the QR code on the screen or click the link in the description to grab yours. Until next time, I wish you a happy hair journey. Bye.